closed, terrific conditions. They're expected to be 50,000 people here. This first 15 minutes huge for the Pies. They've been outscored 22 goals to 11 in that period in the last 4 weeks.
Two of last year's grand final panel of umpires, Steve McBurney and Matthew James, along with Michael Vozzo, controlling the match. And the Saints in yellow again to avoid any confusion, and it certainly is a possibility when they play Collingwood if the Saints are wearing their traditional colours with just the splash of red against the black and white. So no immediate takeaway. Fraser rucking for Collingwood at the bounce.
Got him by the jumper, Matty.
Matthew James telling us what it was for. It's Fraser's ball, and Collingwood to mount the first attack as they head to the Coventry end appropriately enough, and they're playing very much with another Collingwood great, Bob Rose, on their minds tonight. And here's Malloy receiving from Didac as the Magpies mount the attack, and he's placed that ball nicely into the hot spot, and the man who's taken more marks than anybody was flying high. But Tarrant has given
Before
away
the contest
free kick,
against you, Chris.
and Schwarz will take it in the last line for the Saints.
Yeah, and the umpire's just explaining to Chris Tarrant, before the contest you held on to your opponent, and that's good. I think the players appreciate at least being told what it's for.
So Troy Schwarz is the man with the free kick in the defensive goal square for the Saints. He's off and running. Looking for Clark, and that's a solid overhead mark at half-back. What an exciting talent he is, and he's off also. He has a bounce and drills it long. In a no-man's land, really. Johnson against the Milne. What a battle that'll be. Two real speedsters. Good tackle by Johnson.
Look, Ben Johnson, I think he's a terrific young player. He gets criticised for his disposal. He's got to improve on that, but his work rate is absolutely faultless.
Over the top was Cloak. Great to see him back. And another stalemate here. In fact, it's a free kick, is it?
Must hit it out. You've dived on it. You dived on the footy. Must hit it out.
Well, as long as they're consistent, he says the Collingwood player dived on it, Lucuria. You must hit it out as long as they're consistent from here on in.
His opponent, Lenny Hayes. Lucuria's picked him up. It's Harvey and Buckley running together. Clement in the way. That was a bit tentative and knocks it into danger territory. Real chance, Black, on the preferred side. Did it curl enough? I think, no, it didn't.
Oh, no, he's given it a point.
Gee,
the Saints loved it.
Gee, from our angle here, that looked like it just got in. And you're right there, Tim. Clement, he could have easily marked that ball. And we'll have another look at it. I just thought it curled inside the goalpost.
Yeah, we had a perfect view from here. So just a point to the Saints.
Saints have started with Fraser Gehrig at full forward, and his opponent is Shane Wakeman.
This is Burns with the footy. So Scott Burns goes to the wing. Rewald underneath it. There's Hayes having a fantastic season. Clark dispossessed by Cloak. Picked up by Williams. To Malloy, got a horrible bounce. Schwarz backs himself and does it well. The 21-year-old though has his kick smothered.
Gee, Tarrant's in space. Tarrant's in real space in the forward line because Schwarz went off him.
And Loney has spotted him and he finds him.
Well, Chris Tarrant held back. He didn't go after his opponent, Schwarz, and as you saw Schwarz take the ball away for the Saints, I was looking at it thinking, gee, I hope he clears this well for St Kilda's sake, because if he doesn't, the rebound will catch him out, and that's exactly what's happened.
So Chris Tarrant, he's kicked 20 goals, 19 this season. He's 7th on the goal-kicking table. Having a wonderful year. And Collingwood get the first of the night. So there it is, Rob. He backed himself short, just couldn't finish off with a good disposal, and he's paid the ultimate price.
Yes, he has, and I would think that Mick Malthouse would be pretty happy to see that they've got that first goal, because they just got blown away last week by the West Coast Eagles. And last week, Collingwood started Loney on the bench and also Reece Shaw, two of their speedsters. They're both starting tonight. I think that's a good move.
Tarrant gets the first. Let's have a look at this black shot once again. And gee, well, the goal umpire's in perfect posse, but it looked good from here, I've got to say.
Couldn't say it was a bad decision, though, could you?
No.
Mark Canning, the goal umpire at that end. Colin Hood at the other end of the ground. Buckley with Harvey, his opponent, and Reece Shaw with the initials BR above his number 22 in honour of Bob Rose tonight. Saints through Baker, managed to win the ball, but they're not necessarily taking it out of the back half with authority. And it rebounded on them a moment ago, so a throw in.
Stephen Baker playing on Leon Davis. Now he's one of the best stickers. There's Reece Shaw in picture with BR on the back for Bob Rose. But Leon Davis, he'll find it hard to break away from the tight playing Baker.
22 was the great Bob Rose's number, of course, hence the initials on Reece Shaw's jumper. Here's the veteran Burke, hustled and bustled, but somehow getting a kick out of it. And a throw in. Bob Rose, incidentally, coach of Collingwood in probably the most famous clash between these two clubs, the 1966 grand final, which the Saints won by a point.
Just to rub it in. Throw in. There's Lenny Hayes. Bit too much on it for Rewalt, but the bounce might favour him. It does. That's a fantastic bounce, and he finishes it off with a poster. Oh, gee, he got the greatest of bounces. But, just couldn't finish it off. So 2 behinds for St Kilda. Hayes, the Magpies, 1 straight kick.
Wakeland with a bounce, and now heading in the Cloak direction. Goddard, the youngster, manages to make the spoil, and the Saints with numbers. And when you have Harvey there, you don't necessarily need them. Now it's Capuano on the centre line as the Saints look to build. They've had 2 serious parries, numbers against Rewalt, and Davis there to Crum, and just shrugged Thompson. Gives Collingwood a real chance here. Tarrant again. Oh, he's marking everything that comes his way this year. Now this is a difficult angle for the left footer, and he clearly would like to give it off. And no.
Jared Malloy making a run to the goal square. I think he's entitled to have a shot from there, Tim. It's a 50-50 chance, and I think his coach would be happy for him to go back. He's already kicked the goal.
And now he concentrates on doing just that. It'll need to be good. Saints take it through, so a minor score, and the Magpies lead by 5 points. Tarrant has their entire score.
Black kicks it back in, and it's marked by Goddard.
Aussie Jones usually does the kicking in for the Saints. Black with the first one tonight.
To the wing, there's Ball. Another one of the exciting young talents in the St Kilda team.
Good discipline spoil there by Reece Shaw. Really important early in the game. Woden in picture there, and Andrew Thompson, he's run with opponent. There's no doubt Thompson will be looking to put the brakes on Woden, who's been in pretty good touch for the Magpies.
Capuano against Fraser. He got the hard ball, got it to Ball, who was just knocked off as he kicked. Lecura over the top, but surely won't be penalised on this occasion.
Didn't push him. Thanks, Paul.
We'll see the umpires, they escape now towards the boundary line. After this bounce down, he'll back off towards the boundary line.
And another stalemate here.
Anyone can go up in the field bounces, then.
Yeah, Buckley and Harvey, 2 champions on each other.
A huge number of players flew for that one. In the end, it spills to St Kilda. Clark to half forward. Fraser camped underneath it. Takes a good mark.
Yeah. Well, this will be good for his confidence to have a full game in the ruck, and he'll spend a lot of time across the half-back line.
Buckley using Fraser's ample frame to get away from Harvey, but Fraser uses Johnson. Running off Milne, now Loney, forced sideways, but he has a good target down the city side. Awful bounce, but Wakeland's got it now. Loney just can't get free. Woden can, loves these. Just wobbled the wrong side. Magpies pressing hard, lead by a goal.
And there's the bench. Tall fella in Walker and Brodie Holland.
Well, they've mucked the kick up, the Saints. There's another chance for Collingwood. Woden short. And having the shot at goal will be Andrew Williams.
Well, with the kick-ins, Collingwood are the best kick-in team in the AFL, and St Kilda are the worst. And Aussie Jones not kicking in at the moment. And you can see players, it is a pressure job, because one mistake like that and bang, it's straight back on top of you, and it could be a goal over your head. But Collingwood certainly kicking better than the other teams. They take it from the kick-in to a score more times than any other side. And as I mentioned, the Saints, after 8 rounds, are the worst at it.
And Jones started on the bench. That's why he's not kicking in.
6 goals this season to Andrew Williams. And that could make it number 7. Magpies get their second.
He kicked a few for the Eagles last year. Hasn't really delivered a feast of goals for the Magpies, but can bob up.
Well, there's Schwarz with the kick in, and it was just too long. And again, you just pay the ultimate penalty. They've had Black kick in one, they've had Schwarz kick in. I think they better get Aussie Jones on.
So a good start to the Magpies. Collingwood by 2 goals. St Kilda with 2 of the nearest misses you would ever see. But a miss is as good as a mile. Capuano and Fraser beats him. Who makes the takeaway? Hayes crashing through to Thompson. Long ball. Didn't quite beat the big men. And it's another behind to the Saints. Collingwood by 11 points.
Jason
He's got the staggers too.
Yes, yeah, well, he's playing on Rewalt at the moment. They've moved their defenders about. Wakeman started on Gehrig. And then Clement dropped back. They'll mix and match their backline positioning, the Magpies. They're pretty good at that.
Loney backs himself. His cloak up to it, he is. Recovered quickly, well done. Cloak to the running Burns. It's been a stop-start sort of start to this game. No real flow in it. Inside the Magpies attacking 50. Once again it's Schwarz. This time his possession is good. This is Burke. The old timer puts it out into space, running onto it as Black. He's got plenty of territory in front. Shaw gives chase. Black from 55. Is this one home? No, touched on the line by Johnson. So 2-2. Plays 4 behinds. Magpies by 10 points.
Anthony Rocker at centre-half forward on Luke Penny. And Loney doing the kicking in. He's the number 1 kick-in player for the Magpies. Buckley, of course, can do it. So too Clement.
Shaw, well-weighted delivery. Clement. And Collingwood out of defence. Woden and, well, taking the mark at the back was Tarrant, but Williams had gone lurching out, and it's his ball. So the Magpies can build up again. Saints have got to be careful here. They could find themselves in early trouble. An open forward line. Rocker with the height advantage on Penny, who's been given the big tail. Burke the ball, good smother by Davis. And the Magpies hold it in. And the Saints continue to be under pressure as we approach the middle stages of the quarter.
So just outside Collingwood's attacking 50. Malloy wrestles with Voss. There's Clark. Hayes. Burke. Now Malloy, the raging bull, wins the footy for the Magpies. He goes for home and hits the post. So 1 post to reach to the Saints and the Magpies. It's Collingwood looking to better it. Sakuta bring it in. Gehrig. Got to beat 2 of them. Can't do so, Clement. Looking for Tarrant. Couldn't take it. Oh, handball smothered. Now Burns. Gets attacked by 3 Saints. Rocker. Now Buckley from a standing start. Around the body. Fantastic goal. That was all class.
It was class and it was hard work because the Collingwood forwards just kept that in time and again. We'll have a look at it there. Tarrant keeps the ball alive. Burns scoops it up. He's gang tackled. He frees the ball just with a quick handball there. Just enough again to keep it alive. Eventually the ball comes out to Buckley, who's got a little bit of space and kicks that goal. But, gee, that's a hard-working goal that Mick Malthouse would be just thrilled with.
No problem with the Magpies start tonight. A brilliant goal by Buckley gives them a 17-point lead. Clement just kept that ball in play. I reckon part of it might have been over the line, but the whole lot's got to be over.
Just real good hard work here. You can see a little deflection there. Davis stopped the handball. Tarrant kept it alive, picked up by Burns. Well done.
Saints badly need a goal. Near misses aren't good enough, but Collingwood win it again. Woden into half foot. Oh, Clark, what courage. He is a thrilling young player. And that was a magnificent effort, team-lifting effort. His opponent already has a goal, Williams, but that wasn't Clark's fault, really. It was a faulty kick-in. Long ball, giving Ball a chance at the back, but Woden's in everything early. Now Ball can have a go. Harvey takes the long way round, goes away from goal to Capuano. Just too far out, though. And the Saints not really able to set anything up with precision yet. Can he do it here? Gehrig does.
Just a terrific little kick, Tim. It was just a terrific kick by Capuano. Just a little chip. He set it up in the air, and all this fella had to do, he's such a strong man, Gehrig. He got in front of Wakeland and he just put the body up, and it was the kick made the mark.
It's the biggest comeback since Lazarus. That is a true mullet.
I was about to say, you just took the words right out of my mouth.
From 40, they need this badly. They don't get it. That is a bad miss. Saints still without a goal.
"21 plays, 5. Loney to bring the ball in once again for Collingwood. Gets the hurry up. Now he's got a short on, and it's Burns.
Gee, they do that a lot too. Loney, short kick, runs on and receives again.
He's looking for Cloak, but Rewalt, talk about courage. Oh, that was a beauty.
Beautiful mark coming back. Cloak was in the box seat, and this kid wouldn't give it up. He just ran hard backwards, took the mark.
Gehrig, who's second in contested marks this season, pops it up. Wasn't the greatest of kicks though, and Clement was able to get back and take the mark. We'll switch to the City side of the ground where he finds Fraser. Fancy handball has come off, and the Maggies are away.
Gee, very open Collingwood forward 50.
Reece Shaw has pace and uses it here. There's no one in the 50 until Tarrant and his new opponent Goddard arrive. Goddard cleverly to Burke. Good vision, good delivery, and the Saints have the chance to rebound. Rewalt again, can only dab but does it well. Gehrig once more, Peckett running for him. Still a chance, well done Loney, met him fairly and met him well and killed the contest as far as the Saints were concerned.
He did that well, didn't he? Peckett just coming on and just a really good side bump.
Playing well, Ryan Loney. He's got 5 disposals, which is a game high along with Scott Burns. Clark's got 4 for the Saints. 50 out from St Kilda's goal, but Burns got the handball to Wakeland. Now Harvey in heavy traffic, back to Goddard. High ball. Hamill got the front posse. Now Crummer's needed, but it's Woden who's up to the task. Good clearing kick. Shaw will get there first. Gets the kind bounce. Hasn't got much to kick to though. Puts it out in space, looking for Rocker, who battled to the front position against Penny. Now Peckett tucks the footy under the arm, drills it long. Fraser's got a chance here in front, couldn't hang on to it. Clement caught high, will get the free. And he didn't like the treatment from Hamill either.
You got a kick! Clement, you got a kick!
We're getting a bit frustrated, Aaron Hamill. He hasn't had a disposal as yet.
Just hasn't been able to get into a contest, has he? Fraser doing well back there. Robbie's really filling the holes against that dangerously tall St Kilda forward line. Burns down the wing. Schwarz confidently here. He is still on Tarrant. Backed his judgment there and did well. Now Burke having a bit of the ball. Peckett. Game 195 for the colourful Saint. Forward of the centre line. Still St Kilda with this quarter well advanced. Searching for its first goal. That's a scrubby old kick. But all is well that ends well. And Voss, with the man on the mark 45 metres out, has the chance to break the drought.
Well, Brett Voss is playing as a defender for the Saints. He's playing on Jared Malloy, and he just ran forward. Malloy went with him, but you'll see that Malloy slipped And the kick caught Malloy out. Brett Voss able to take the mark. He's not a bad kick, Brett Voss.
The back half has played adventurous football in this first quarter. That's fading well away. Lucky to score. It does. The Saints have their first 6 points, but they've come the hard way.
Gee, that's not 15 from Loney, but he gets the handball back. Now he switches. He's been very creative so far and very dangerous. Loney backs himself over the top to Wakeland. Now Wakeland goes long in the direction of Tarrant. Well spoilt by Schwarz. And we'll have a throw in. 60 out for the Magpies goal. They need 3-3 to 6 straight behinds from the Saints.
Collingwood have dropped Williams back to the goal square. His opponent is Xavier Clark. You can see Xavier Clark way back in the distance there.
Voss over the top. But shaking the crumbs is Davis. Leon Davis, no one home. Kicks across the face. Capuano will keep it in. In fact, Clark will pick it up. Handball is a little bit dodgy. No free kick. Malloy should goal here. You've got to say, Rob, that was a terrible handball from Capuano.
It was. And you see Leon Davis, he's decided to have a shot. And Capuano, well, it's Xavier Clark who flipped it over. Yeah, Xavier Clark, you know, that really was. He should have kept going towards the boundary line, played the percentages, just a little bit too smart, a bit too cute.
So a gift Collingwood goal, courtesy of a very poor handball from Xavier Clark.
And the defensive errors in the St Kilda half of the column are mounting. Fraser has made a good start to Licuria to Buckley. Can he do it from 60? Could he what? Magpies on fire in the first quarter. Buckley second.
We've just got to have a look at Josh Fraser because he was just sensational here. He leaps, catches the ball, gets the handball, quick one to Licuria, in turn to Buckley. He runs his 5 or 6 steps. What a lovely kick. What an absolutely super kick. But Josh Fraser, you're the man.
They've only won 2 first quarters in 2003. Collingwood, they're well on the way. Mick Malthouse will be delighted. 33 plays 6. There's another Collingwood great.
He looks good. He should be on TV.
Louis Richards and Edna. One of the pioneers of football on television in this country.
No chance, mine, no, good tackle. Mine, let it go now, thanks. Thanks, fellas, thank you, mine. Going straight back out.
So another bounce in the middle. Here's Loney. He's had a first quarter. So is this man. Buckley's kicked 2 goals. Puts it into space. Tarrant. Geez, quick.
He is super quick.
Tarrant goes short. As Locken will have a shot at goal. Fraser sits down for a break and young Walker comes on for the Magpies, but it'll be Locken shooting for goal.
And let's have a look at Surge for the first time. And there's that scoring zone. And when your team is playing football and they're in that scoring zone, there's 80% chance you will score. The attacking intensity of Collingwood for just about all of this quarter has been up there in that green area, and that's very good for Magpie fans.
Matthew Locken has kicked 1 goal in his career. Now he's got 2, and the Magpies are off to a flyer. Getting a bit ugly now, isn't it, for the Saints, Tim?
It's very ugly. It was interesting to have a look at Surge. I mean, they're not deeply in the red. They haven't been out of the contest, but on the board, they're dangerously close to being out of the game.
Yep. Well, Collingwood, pretty much from the first bounce, Tim, their attack has been far greater than the Saints, and the score indicates that. We see Xavier Clark going down to full-back. He won't like that. Good coaching by Mick Malthouse. Williams, his opponent's in the goal square. Williams very strong overhead. Clark likes to dash off half-back. That's a victory to the Magpie coaching staff.
Oh, Rocker did some damage on Riewoldt as he really climbed into him in that centre contest. Saints winning the footy, but not for long. Cloak in the way. And the young star picks himself up and realises that when you're as good as he is, footy is going to be a tough game. Now Shaw from Cloak, two sons of Magpie guns. Saints with a 2-on-1 here, but Malloy's height prevails. And Collingwood just getting better. And that's well placed for Walker, who started his career playing on Matthew Richardson on opening night at the MCG. Did a great job at fullback. Now Rocker, go back and have a shot, they say. And he will, and it's long and high, but this time it's offline. What a mighty kick. Collingwood 40, St Kilda 6.
Oh, that's just a knee right into the ribs.
Well, he's got it now, Riewoldt at half-back, and St Kilda desperately need a goal just to give him a bit of confidence going into the first break. Aussie Jones, and when you're hot, you're hot, and when you're not...
Well, Aussie Jones has had a pretty good year for the Saints, playing off a half-back flank, and I just can't work out why they haven't got him on in that back line. He started on the bench, but I would think that they desperately need him in the back line, if for nothing else than to do the kicking in.
Just nothing working for the Saints at the moment. Locken on centre wing. Handballs to Woden, who unloads. In front is Williams, but just judging it far better than anyone else was Chris Tarrant. That was superb judgment. And he will line up from point-blank range to rub further salt into the St Kilda wound. Chris Tarrant, first in marks this season, first in contested marks, and that's why.
Well, you can see young Xavier Clark, he's all at sea down there. He really should have tried to get a fist on that. It's in the goal square. He's got to do the defensive thing. Maybe time for Gehrig to go to full-back.
Tarrant's got two. The Maggies have got their seventh.
Well, they've had 7 kicked against them in the first quarter of the last 2 weeks. West Coast last week, Adelaide the week before that. And the Magpies answering in the best possible way.
Well, I'm sure that would have been the emphasis all week, Tim. Get off to a good start. Let's make sure that we're not playing catch-up football, as they did against the Eagles last week. And they did catch up, they did get in front, and then they got overrun again. That's the momentum that happens in games.
St Kilda President Rod Butters not liking what he sees in the first quarter before a huge crowd at Telstra Dome. Now here we go again, Rocker and Riewoldt. No body contact that time, but there is a whistle. A hold, a Collingwood free kick. Buckley put himself under pressure by playing on, and this time Clark is able to take the mark. Just took it in time. The Indians were arriving. Goes wide. He had nothing to go to much because Riewoldt was well manned by Walker. And now the Magpies prevail with 3-on-2. Holland, Tarrant unmanned at 50, and also loose up in the forward pocket is Williams. It didn't quite carry to him. Saints making errors now. They really are in disarray.
Well, Max Hutchton not playing for St Kilda, of course. He's been very good for them at full-back. You've got Schwartz down there, who just is not tight enough on Tarrant. And Xavier Clark being given a merry dance by Williams.
Cole, good tackle by Penny. Buckley feeds out the handball. Can Malloy get boot to ball? Nobody strikes the tackle. Back to Cole, who squares it up beautifully. And Leon Davis just chips in first.
Yeah.
They'll have a shot from directly in front, only 45 out at worst.
Well, good play by Richard Cole to put that ball in the central corridor. It looked like a Lucuria mark. Leon Davis did the right thing. Good bullocking play again by Malloy. But we'll see the Cole kick. It's going to Lucuria, and then Leon runs back and chips in front of him to take it. Leon Davis did the right thing, and Lucuria may well have called him back.
7 goals in his 6 games so far this season. He's kicked 70 in his career. Hasn't had the best of seasons so far. Puts it right through the middle. 8 goals to Collingwood. And this game is in danger of being over already.
Well, they've got off to a fly, haven't they? And Buckley's beating Robert Harvey. Malloy is kicking goals and setting goals up. Richard Cole started on the bench. And Leon Davis, he'd be glad to get a little bit of freedom away from Baker, who's been pretty tight on him. But there's plenty of St Kilda players who really haven't touched the ball. And we've been playing just about half an hour. There's one of them in picture, Aaron Hamill, who's been playing at half forward on Jason Cloak. He hasn't had a disposal to this stage. Maybe time to get him on the ball as a ruck rover. Let him knock a few over. Let him get his blood boiling because he needs to get into it.
Yes, been near him for a while.
Stephen Milne hasn't touched it either. They're two key forwards.
No takeaway, so another ball up.
There's David Cloak and one of the young Cloaks alongside him. He'll be very proud of his boys.
Late in the quarter, Saints desperate for something to go to quarter time with. They won't get it here, and they're running out of time. Horrible quarter for them. The Magpies have kicked 8-4 to 6 behinds. Saints have been absolutely smashed, and the process that Grant Thomas likes to talk about has really fallen away. It's in ruin at the moment, and it's Collingwood more likely to goal in the dying seconds. High ball, but they won't make anything of it. Good quarter for Collingwood. In fact, it was better than that. It was a tremendous start, and they must be flummoxed in the St Kilda box because they trail at quarter time by 46 points.
Shell shock would be the word, Rob.
Oh, they would be, and they're really up the Magpies. And young Reece Shaw certainly been good for them off halfback. Malloy's been strong. Terrence a target up forward, and Josh Fraser. There's Lenny Hayes, number 7 for the Saints. Well, he's hardly touched the ball either because Lecuri has done such a good tagging job on. You see the coach come out, Grant Thomas, and he's grabbed the players, the whole group. Normally they go to their little divisions, if you like, the midfielders, the forwards and the backs. But when you get pummeled like that in the first quarter, you as senior coach, all you want to do is get out there and talk to them. And you can see with the look on the eye of Nathan Burke and Hayes in the background, it's full concentration.
So a disastrous quarter for St Kilda, but let's not take anything away from the Magpies. They were superb, and at quarter time they lead the Saints by a whopping 46 points.
Lead. At the same time, St Kilda would have been closer to them had they kicked more accurately. They've had the ball in their forward zone a bit, but 6 straight behinds.
Jared Waitley.
It was a fair old burst from Grant Thomas at quarter time. You don't often see him as animated or as angry as that, but I guess the scoreboard certainly explains that. Collingwood changed its entire bench at the 21-minute mark of the quarter. Mick Malthouse spoke about getting extra pace onto the ground.
Well, it could be more of the same here as Williams loads up, but he's well offline, and there still hasn't been a goal scored. At the Lockett end, the Magpies lead by 47 points. I think Surge is in for a pretty easy night.
Well, we're back to what it should be, and that is Aussie Jones kicking in. He's the best.
And this young man's not bad either. Only 20 years of age. Nick Riewoldt, already a Best and Fairest winner and a Rising Star award winner. Harvey to half forward. Hamill takes the mark. That is his first possession for the game. Lenny Hayes looking for Gehrig, who's being held.
Yeah, that should
and he's got it.
Should be against
You've turned right.
Wakeman.
No, you've turned right away from the footy. No, footy's coming this way. You're looking that way.
Exactly. Umpire was spot on. And what we saw was, you don't quite pick it up there, but Shane Wakeland completely took his eyes off the ball and pushed and prodded Gehrig, and the umpire explained it correctly.
He's got to kick this, Fraser Gehrig, and he does. St Kilda get there first at long last. It's taken about 31 minutes or 32 minutes, but they finally got there, the Saints.
Good to see the supporters smiling too. They've been through harder times than this. It's just one quarter. They've had years and years like that first quarter. I like the umpire's description too. It reminded me of that young kid in the health insurance ad. The ball went that way and you went that way. 41 points. Still a long climb for St Kilda, but they've got the start they needed. Maguire rucking for the Saints. Maguire rucking against Collingwood. That's unheard of. Harvey into half forward. Magpies look to have the loose ball covered. Cloak going to ground. Has to get rid of it. Gehrig met him hard.
Good tackle, Fraser. Good tackle.
Good tackle. I thought he had Cloak in a headlock and then dumped him. But anyway, Baker now been moved on to Woden. Thompson had the job early.
St Kilda have got it in their attacking 50. And they'll have another ball up here. They've obviously, as they should, come out fired up. St Kilda tackling hard.
And the back of picture there, you can see Thompson now has Nathan Buckley.
Got an awful spray from Grant Thomas at quarter time. There's Buckley again, gang tackled. Drove the Collingwood captain right into the Telstra own turf, and he's got the free.
Matt Rendell in picture on the left there, assistant coach to Grant Thomas.
Buckley finds Wakeland, and Locken is free at half back. He's got some speed, and he shows it there. Just got rid of it before it was pinged for going too far. This is Cole. Locken, Lucuria. Pinpoints the pass. He was looking for Tarrant. Surely it's a free kick. Has to be.
I'm on this side. That's what I saw. The arms are all over. Arms are all over this side.
Yes, our coverage continues to be R-rated for the second week in a row. Obviously very unhappy with that decision.
Well, in the end, look, you could well argue that Tarrant was smart enough to pull his arm, Schwartz's arm, over his shoulder. Collingwood fans will say it's about time because Chris Tarrant doesn't get enough free kicks, in my opinion.
Hope my young boy's in bed.
Living with you, he won't be too surprised, will he?
Turn it up. Tarrant kicks his third. Well, there's the quick reply. As Tim Lane issues an apology to Stephen Quartermain.
It's 23rd of the season for Tarrant, who is proving a tremendously reliable source of goals. So Collingwood with all the answers. Movement of the ball just too quick for the Saints. Saints chasing tail all night. Margin back to 47. Maguire has another go and climbs over Fraser this time. He timed his run well, but Woden gets the kick out of the middle. Now it's a race. Hayes with Lucuria on his hammer. Lucuria did pretty well to take him to ground. Goddard to Thompson. Now to Jones, who places his kick and does it well, but the sitter missed by Lawrence. Throw in.
Stevie Lawrence started on the interchange bench, and he's now come on to replace Milne. There's the Collingwood bench. Didak, who struggled in the first quarter. Holland, Burns, who was pretty good, and Walker will come on and give relief to Josh Fraser. And you can see there, Buckley.
Okay, there's no need to do that though. Okay.
Buckley said, watch the holding, because Thompson's holding on to Buckley. So Buckley just slams him into the ground. The umpire explains no need to do that. Well done by Buckley to draw it to the umpire's attention.
And good umpiring too, not to ping him for the free.
No chance, just tapping it. Good tackle, I don't think he pulled it in.
And the young ball on the bench, getting a rub on the back.
Turns 19 tomorrow. This is not exactly the kind of pre-birthday party that he was anticipating.
Actually, May's a very popular month for St Kilda birthdays. 8 players on their list are born in May. 6 of them are playing tonight. So lots of Taurians.
That might be what's wrong. 3 of them, I think, this week, and 3 next week.
And Lucuria, he's making life very hard for Lenny Hayes, just going step for step with him.
Rewalt. Harvey couldn't control it. Now he lays the tackle.
They did get out-muscled in that first quarter, St Kilda. And, you know, Collingwood is an older side. Top right a picture in the long-sleeve jumper, Stephen Milne. Now, he's their leading goal kicker. He did not touch the footy in the first quarter.
Has kicked a goal in the last 33 matches that he's played. Of course, he's missed a couple this year through suspension. And I hope he gets back and keeps his streak going. It's a tremendous effort. Saints attacking, but They're doing it the hard way at the moment.
He's only been held scoreless 3 times in his career.
Amazing. Fraser and Maguire. Maguire with the big task. Fraser's having a good night. Now Shaw. High lobbing ball. Malloy did pretty well on Voss, although Voss able to bring him to ground. And there'll be a ball up on the centre line. Collingwood by 47 points. Saints going nowhere at the moment.
Well, Collingwood aren't scoring either, but the important thing, they've got a bit of a lull in their game, but the important thing is that for Collingwood, St Kilda's not scoring either.
Black to Harvey, great tackle by Shaw. Collingwood get the football back. Locken's been good since he's come on. That kick wasn't so flash though, as Rewalt's bullets the pack and kicks the goal. And you give the guy a rap.
Yeah, well, Matthew Locken, he's playing on Robert Harvey in this quarter, and that was just a sloppy kick. He was trying to find Jason Cloak, and the kick dropped short, awkward bounce, and this young fellow was able to swoop on that ball and dash through the middle of a couple of Collingwood players and get the 6 points on the ball. Well done, Nick Rewalt.
Task is for the Saints to string 2 or 3 together. Margin 41. Rocker. Maguire still in there for St Kilda. Hayes at the left of the picture. Well held so far by the Courier. Just 4 possessions. The Saints man, 7 to the great Collingwood stopper playing his 100. And Woden having a lot of it, does well. Davis let go of the footy. Burke just got the unhelmeted head out of the way. Hasn't placed the kick too well. Well controlled by Reece Shaw. Cool under pressure. Locken, Buckley. Their disposal and their handling of the ball ever reliable. O'Brien to Woden. Long shot. Not really a shot. Malloy. Williams had a go.
Just that last centre bounce, Tim, we saw Anthony Rocker doing the ruck work. Whilst Anthony Rocker does the ruck work, Fraser just sits back across the half-back line and then continues on as the ruckman.
Rocker over the top, tapped it into space. Aussie Jones gets there first. Handball is average to Burke. He's got time to steady. He's looking for Rewalt. Shaw, good courage to stand his ground. Clement, back to Shaw. Into the pocket, there's a couple of Magpies here. Well done by Malloy just to shepherd out any potential spoiler, and Williams will have a shot at goal.
And that's the great thing about Gerard Malloy. He's a wonderful team player. He does the blocks, he does the protective work, and this is a worry for Grant Thomas, a young Xavier Clark playing on that last line of defence. And we see the pace, the run, the carry of Reece Shaw, then the quick kick in. Just does enough there, Malloy, to keep the lightly framed Xavier Clark out of the way. And these two will just go at it all night, Buckley and Andrew Thompson. He's a really good player, Andrew Thompson. He'll make it hard for Nathan Buckley.
That's what's called rubbing your nose in it, isn't it? Williams has kicked 1-1 so far. Now it's 1 goal, 2. 60 plays, 18. Magpies well in control here as we near the halfway mark of the second term.
Aussie. And he does it as well as ever. Harvey. 7 uses of the ball so far to the dual Brownlow medalist. Now Baker just getting the kick in time. Rewalt's ever the target and working hard. Clark, an attacking, adventurous half-back, and now he might be in trouble. Terrific smother, though, as he kept coming off his own kick to keep the Saints in it. And now Maguire can really give them something. This is a brave effort. That's a funny old kick. Lawrence trying to take Johnson off the ball, and at least the Saints hold it in.
Good smother there by Xavier Clark.
It was a good comeback, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you just see he wound up the big kick there, Josh Fraser. Xavier Clark kept on coming, which was just what was needed. He's been doing it pretty hard. Looks like he may have moved into the forward area for the Saints, and that's good.
Over the shoulder from Lenny Hayes. Just a point. St Kilda need goals. 60 plays 18. In fact, to make that 19. So 41 points the difference.
Saints have moved Xavier Clark into the forward line, and he'll man up here on the mark of Richard Cole.
Cole towards Tarrant, who's made his way to half back. Here's Thompson, got the job on Buckley. Pickett couldn't control it. Clark working hard.
I would think part of Collingwood's game plan would be to really hit hard the skinny bodies of Clark and Riewoldt and Goddard and Ball, the young Saints. They're a much more seasoned team. You see the player rankings there, but they got out muscled in that first quarter. No doubt part of the plan.
8 disposals, 5 marks. Riewoldt into team being well beaten. Gehrig, good solo effort there. How will it wobble? Right into the heart of the goal square, and Woden keeps his feet. Johnson there with him too. Saints lifting their work rate here. It might even get him into the green on our old mate Surge at some stage.
Well, they need to surge, don't they? I've got a feeling Aaron Hamill's not 100% fit. I've got a feeling he's got an ankle problem.
Milne's on also for St Kilda. They need him to fire. Maguire in front. Cloak missed the swipe. Here's Baker. Black. Clever kick to Milne. Can he weave some magic now from 48 metres out? He pops it into the goal square. Baker, great smother. That was Wakeland. And now there's an upfield. Beautifully done by the Collingwood defence.
Second after he kicked it.
Should have made more of a kick, shouldn't he? I mean, he needed to get a bit of altitude.
He should have, Tim, and I guess what you're looking at is a back pocket player all of a sudden finds he's got the footy 10 metres out from goals and doesn't quite know what to do.
So Lucuria, in his 100th game of AFL football, has it at half back. His target is Rocker. From the side was Davis, Buckley, Loney. He's got the pace. So's Pickett and Jones though, but Loney does well. Back into the direction of Buckley. But the Saints holding up. Pickett gives it to Burke.
Burke's disposal been pretty good tonight. Now Gehrig off a standing start again. Riewoldt the focus, but the kick not good for him. And Clement able to keep him under the ball. And now Wakeland, Collingwood defenders prepared to run as well to create opportunity. Another smother. Wakeland on the other end of it. This time he it was who made that excellent smother off Baker a couple of minutes ago.
There's Goddard in picture. Goddard playing on Walker, who's just come on. Malloy's gone off for Collingwood. And no doubt the plan is to take young Goddard again away from the action. Even though he's a first-year player, he's one of the very best for the Saints. So get him out of the thick of the action.
Williams, another smother. Gee, we've seen a few tonight. Another smother. Smothers galore. Quick handball out. Here's a chance for Williams. The banana is good. Williams gets his second. Collingwood further ahead.
Well, as you called it, just a lot of smothers and blocks we see here. And Rob Harvey fumbles. Now that is most unlike Robert Harvey. And then a quick handball out. Protection by Buckley there for Williams. He'd be glad he kicked that one. Missed one only a couple of minutes back. And the former West Coast player is a real bonus to the Magpies this year.
So Williams joins the multiple club. Tarrant has 3. Buckley and Williams 2 apiece. St Kilda lifting its intensity, but doing all the chasing. 9 tackles to 1. Another smother. Maguire on Woden. Thompson, head down, tail up. Magpies wanting holding the ball. Almost a look of resignation about Grant Thomas. I'm sure that doesn't reflect the reality.
Clement's been moved onto Gehrig, and Cloak has gone out onto Riewoldt.
47 points the margin. Thompson to Burke. The old stages. Now Milne. Won't kick a goal from there. He's had to come up to the wing. Sits it up for Gehrig.
Oh, it's a beautiful kick, Tim. Just a beautiful kick. And Gehrig, the advantage is that Gehrig knows what Milne will do. Milne does the predictable thing, and that is square the ball. And that's why teams that are predictable to each other have the advantage. You can just see there, and he kicks it hard and flat. And as a result, not much that Clement could do.
He hasn't gone anywhere, Anthony.
Garrick with 1 hit and 1 miss thus far in the match. Important kick. Saints have to keep on, well, at least answering Collingwood's, trying to better them. Lovely long kick from 47. That went through it better than post height, and the Saints have their third. So they've kicked 3-2 in this quarter, but still the margin is just under 7 goals.
Having a good season, Fraser. Garrick, I know he's had a problem with his heel or his foot, but he got to 17 goals for the year, 5 last week and 2 so far tonight.
Grant Thomas has held his nerve a bit. He could have easily put him to full back because they had worries there with Tarrant, but I think he realises that to win, they need him kicking goals.
So well done to Fraser Garrick. Let's go down to Gerard Waitley.
What does the rotation see? Rob Harvey and Nathan Buckley both coming to the bench, and when Buckley came, Thompson came as well for the Saints, so both getting the spell before resuming their battle.
There's Aaron Hamill in the middle.
Often players just don't want to give up the ball to the opposition there. It's just a show of strength that they ended up with their last hand on the ball, and Aaron Hamill's certainly one of those.
Just 1 disposal so far for Hamill. Aussie Jones. Handball is ambitious. Clark. Now Clark again. He's got some dash when he gets going. Left foot kick, but it's all Collingwood. In familiar positions, Cloak. Just lurking at half back, and he takes the mark and finds Cole.
Now Shaw having a good night. 9 disposals. Walker, solid lump of a young bloke from out of the west. Kick not so great, it was hopeful. Williams, O'Brien, delayed it coolly, couldn't quite pull it off. Saints are in the contest in this quarter, no question about that. The bird may well have flown though, with Collingwood kicking 8 goals to none in the first. Magpies still leading by 41 points. Still the Saints haven't been able to string a couple together. Tug of war for it there between Baker and Mercuria. So another ball up.
See Simon Prestigiacomo at the back of the Collingwood box here, missing with a punctured lung. 2 or 3 weeks out with an injury like that. Ball. On the left, looking for Gehrig. Almost. Wakeland was the spoiler. Powell fed it out, but Cloak's there for the Magpies. Side steps and wobbles 1.5 forward, and it's come off okay, although Williams couldn't hang on to it. Voss mops up for Saints and finds Burke. Good handball to Hayes. St Kilda build here. Hayes long, he's looking for Rewalt, was being held. He got the mark anyway. Would have been a mark or a free kick. And Nick Rewalt will line up directly in front, 20 out for goal number 2.
He is the yellow Rolls Royce tonight, isn't he?
Yes, and it's a terrific effort there because he was infringed by Clement. Free kick given, but he marked the ball anyway.
And he makes no mistake, so Rewalt gets his second and St Kilda's fourth.
Just 2 goal kickers in the Saints ranks. He's kicked 2. Gehrig has kicked the other 2, all of them in this quarter.
They just need Aaron Hamill to start to hit some form, and he's really struggling. I suspect he's not fully fit with an ankle problem. And little Milne in picture was in a perfect spot there to take any crumb that came to the front.
Saints closer than they've been for a long time. And showing some good signs. Maguire rucking bravely. Bounce favoured Rocker there. Maguire coming off the long run. Powell, who spent a lot of time on the bench. Hamill with 3 against him. Kept his feet well for most of the journey. Here's Lenny. Hayes. Oh, great smother by Burns. Terrific pressure, Collingwood. The bee in the bottle. Milne. Can he he do it? Will it wobble home? No, it won't. They're still alive. Gehrig is there. Hamill's there. They got in each other's way. Throw in.
I can't remember a game with so many smothers.
And Stevie Milne just starting to look dangerous. Ben Johnson just needs to clamp down on him. Powell, he's just starting to become a pretty important player for the Saints.
Well done by Wakeland. Got the ball back off Gehrig and got possession himself. Looking for O'Brien. Difficult one to trap. Good tackle by Rewalt. Well done by O'Brien to get it to Clement. Great play, Collingwood. Here's Cole. He goes long now on the break. There's Tarrant, but he can't get there, chipping it in front and taking a nice mark is Penny.
Well, Penny's been playing centre-half back on Anthony Rocker all night. Only had 2 disposals.
Powell. Long to Hamill. You're right, Robert. He doesn't look fit, does he? Something wrong with an ankle or knee. Not moving freely. It's a free kick and advantage paid. Here's Black looking for Gehrig. Wakeland all in his back. No advantage.
No advantage. In the back. No advantage, okay? Could have gone anywhere. Mark's here.
Good call by the umpire, and just a ridiculous early fly there by Wakeland. Probably good play by the strong man here in Gehrig, who just propped, and was happy for Wakeland to go into his back and perhaps win a free kick, which he did. And as we said, Grant Thomas early on in that first quarter, he must have been so tempted to move Gehrig to full back to play on a Tarrant. He held his nerve, and he's going to be rewarded because this big fella could well kick his 3rd goal for the quarter.
And it would be 3 on the trot for the Saints and might just start to make things a little interesting.
Could be a surge.
So the man with the modern day mullet lines up from 40 metres out and gets his 3rd. And the Saints on a bit of a roll at the Telstra Dome.
It's a dangerous attacking setup, isn't it?
Well, it is. Rewalt's a star in the making. Gehrig's playing some really good football. Walker into the back there. It's a lovely kick here by Heath Black. Really hits it hard and flat. And just see Gehrig just hold up a little bit, and not good play by Wakeland. 5 goal to 2 quarter.
Gehrig's kicked 3 of them. That's a big quarter in any language. He and Rewalt, tremendous targets. Hamill not on song and not looking fit. And Milne not yet in the game. If he could get into it and do some crumbing, there could be some surprises in store. Burns of Collingwood, they need the steadier now. Cole swinging it in the Didac direction. Jones making the spoil. Black not quite able to control it with the gloved hand. Didac swamped. Rocker working it forward, but to nobody. Baker. Collingwood raising its intensity here. Ball. Now Powell on his wrong side. Burke running for him well. Saints at it again. Milne will wait down. Gehrig nearly marked it at knee level. Peckett, still the Saints with a chance. Maguire has a go, and he's done it. Here come the Saints. Well, what do you say when Maguire starts flying the flag against Collingwood? Well, it could be a funny old night.
It was a great goal, and you mentioned about 7 or 8 minutes ago they needed to string 2-3 together. They've done better than that, and they are back in the game, Rob.
Yeah, it's good play by Peckett. Got that quick handball out. Just starting to win through the midfield. Starting to get a fair bit of play going through the midfield. Ball, Powell, Hayes. Baker's doing a pretty good job on Woden.
And there was a look of determination from Matthew Maguire. As Collingwood going to attack, but not for long.
He's been brave, hasn't he, Maguire? And the goal was fitting reward for a hard-working quarter. Penny lined up on Rocker and has taken him whenever Rocker's been forward, which has been most of the time. Now Goddard. Saints leading Collingwood a merry dance just for the moment.
Well, they're controlling the ball and they're moving it forward. They're not holding it up slowly.
Jones kick without the carry. Advantage called this time. Holland into an open forward line. Tarrant in prime position. And he has beautiful hands and running for him into the goal square. He has Burns. That's where he's gone. Also arriving, trying to snare it was Malloy, but the Saints doing what they desperately needed to do there. And it's just a minor. The margin is 24 points. St Kilda with a bit of a sniff.
Strong mark. Gets in front, uses his full reach.
Jones does it nicely to Penny. Back to Jones. Now Burke. Out in the direction of Powell. Now Holland for Collingwood. Shaw. To Buckley. And as you'd expect, his pass is perfect. He finds Rocker. About 65 from goal. Even by his standards, is it just a tad too far out? Anthony Rocker.
He fancies himself, I think, Stephen.
He's had 3 disposals.
Play on.
Kicked it behind so far. He doesn't want to have a shot. Now he goes into the pocket. It's a good kick. And Didak's got the mark and he's on his correct side.
He is, and he's had a pretty lean first half, Alan Didak. This will only be his second disposal. Goddard started on him, and he's been benched several times in the first half. So he's one of the small Collingwood forwards whose form has been down in recent weeks.
14 goals in his 8 games so far this season. He improves the angle, but he misses by a fair way.
Last season gave the impression as being one of the really deadly kicks in the game, but his accuracy just seems to have deserted him somewhat this year. That was a tough shot. Jones, long ball this time to Hayes.
He's made a difference, Aussie Jones, with the kicking in, Tim. I don't think he's missed a target.
Spot on. Hayes to Goddard. Impressive body on a young man. Stands 189, weighs about 82. He'll weigh more in 3 or 4 years. Clement in the way. Collingwood by 25. A goal either way in the last 70 seconds of the quarter would be significant. Cole for Tarrant, just take it under it this time. And Hayes getting into it a little in this quarter after a quiet start. He and Buckley are 2-1 on the league rankings going into this match. Cole to clean up again for Collingwood. And now Shaw can try and set something up. Peckett did pretty well to bring him down for a moment.
Walker, who was a late inclusion for McKee, gives it to Wakeland. And he's played some pretty good footy, Aussie Jones, since he's come on. And a trip. Oh well.
50 for the trip.
We missed that one. The umpire didn't.
And with not much more than 30 seconds left, it's a pretty important 50.
I'm just telling you, be very careful. Mark's here.
So one last chance here for the Saints, and it's a fantastic kick. And very poor checking by the Collingwood defence as Stephen Milne will line up from about 51 metres out.
Well, you give them away, you get them back. And we saw Stephen Milne in that second quarter square one up from a very similar position. And he's been able to get one back there, and the kicking of Aussie Jones has made a heck of a difference to St Kilda in this second quarter.
He's only ever kicked 1 goal in his career from outside 50. It might be 2. That will go on the highlight reel for Stephen Milne.
He'll be delighted with that. Mick Malthouse, he won't be delighted because the Saints have come out. And after not kicking a goal in the first quarter, they've got 7. Let's see if we can see a trip. Stevie Milne leading into that corridor position. He's lifted 2 since coming back on the ground. So I couldn't see much of a trip, Tim.
No, I couldn't either, but I could see Stephen Milne keeping his streak alive. It's 34 games on the trot, punctuated, of course, by a fortnight's suspension.
Well, that was it straight after he took the mark, but gee, there didn't seem to be a lot in it, did there?
No, I think it's a fortunate 50.
Big goal, by the way. It was just before half-time.
It could have been an optical illusion. On the umpire's part, he was looking for a different angle. Now, if Collingwood got time, no, they haven't. And the Saints have played a big second quarter, and full marks to them. They went to quarter time 46 points down. They've come out and kicked 7 goals to 2, and at half-time they're in touch within 19 points.
So, 7 goals, as Tim Lane said, to 2 in the second term, and that is a sign of a good young side, Robert Walls.
Well, it is. Nick Riewoldt in picture. He kicked 2 goals in that second quarter. Fraser Gehrig was able to kick 3. But I just thought that they got a lift from some players who were down early. I guess you had to expect for them to lift, but Hayes certainly got back into the game. He was good. Baker put the brakes on Woden, and I just felt that the midfield players of St Kilda, Ball, Harvey, Powell, they got knocked off the footy early, and they were able to come back. You see Aaron Hamill there, he's not right, absolutely got a crook ankle. He'll tough it out if the coach wants him to, but we might see Hamill playing more from the goal square in the second half.
So we've got a game in our hands now at half-time here at the Telstra Dome in this round 9 match. It is the Magpies leading the Saints by just 19 points. Condition.
It's been super. Grant Thomas was waiting for the St Kilda players when they arrived in the room at half-time, just as he was waiting for them at quarter-time. So I reckon the message might have been a little bit different, though, at the main break.
Yeah, the Magpies now lead by just 19 points. They led by 8 goals at one stage. So the second quarter well and truly belonged to St Kilda, and they go into attack first in this third term. This is Goddard looking for Peckett. Justin Peckett.
That's him going, hold it there.
At half forward. Rewoldt's his target. He gets to the front. The big fist from behind came from Wakeland. And we'll have a throw in 50 metres out from St Kilda's goal.
Just as far as the momentum of the game goes, Collingwood cannot afford to let St Kilda kick the first goal of this third quarter. It was all St Kilda in the second term. They fought their way back into it. And Collingwood, I've got no doubt Mick Malthouse has given them a bit of a talking to. They just really have to get their minds on the job. Buckley there, Thompson still his opponent.
Here's Peckett, Saints in scoring territory. Milne couldn't score from there. Handy kick though. Almost a handy mark. Black and Riewoldt getting in each other's way. Critical period in this game here as the Saints press for the first goal of the half. And if they kick it, they're right in touch.
Maguire against Fraser. Give that one to Fraser. Buckley with Thompson again, hot on his hammer. This time Buckley wins out because Thompson gets into his back. So Nathan Buckley is having his 13th disposal. He's kicked a couple of great goals in the first term. Fraser to Wakeland. To the wing, Tarrant.
Well, Tarrant playing at centre-half forward, Malloy at full forward.
Kicks to Woden.
Malloy's opponent's Brett Voss. Brett Voss just a mile off him.
And there's Williams, who's been very handy for the Magpies. Kicked 2 goals, 2. Bangs it long. Davis is in the goal square. Getting back is Penny, and in the end concedes the rush behind. So first score of the third term goes to the Maggies, and they lead by 20 points.
Grizzly old veteran Nathan Burke to bring it in. Where's Aussie, who kicked in so well through that second quarter. Burke to a 2-on-1, and they've done well. Maguire well shielded by Hayes, who parked his body in a subtle little shepherding spot, but that's no good. A turnover. Cole, and Collingwood can build again. Runner in the way there.
Yep.
But Holland able to take the mark.
Looks like Grant Thomas going with Maguire in the ruck over Capuano. He's just more mobile.
Collingwood by 20, and Williams takes another mark. Distance just beyond him here, you would think. Gets the call from up in the square. Tarrant's there, Malloy's there.
Goddard just has to tighten up on Williams.
Goes to Davis. Same range, really. Doesn't improve their position at all. Just trying to disorganise St Kilda. Now Loney, too far even for his rangy left foot. Shaw, Collingwood can get themselves into trouble doing this, can get a little bogged down. Lucuria, still working it patiently. Buckley, just too far out. That's a good kick, and Tarrant's got it, and he is in a scoring position, and he's on song around goal. He has 3 already.
And Tim, you've got to admire the patience of Collingwood. They didn't bomb the ball away. They desperately wanted to make sure that they ended up with possession, and they just had multiple leads going on. and probably took the last 5 or 6 marks of the game just setting this entry up into the forward 50. They just desperately wanted to give it to a player who was inside the 50, whose shot at goal would certainly make the distance.
He's in goal-kicking form. Favours his left foot. Was going near side, but it's straightened, and Collingwood get the important first. Tarrant has 4.
And we just see that they just held onto the footy, and finally, you wouldn't want it in better hands than Nathan Buckley's as far as hitting a target goes, and that's what they did. And that's just a well-constructed goal.
Just sneaked home for Chris Tarrant. 4 goals, 1 is his haul so far.
He likes those, doesn't he? Like the one in Adelaide after the siren.
Mick Malthouse and Gavin Brown in picture.
Back in the middle, it's the Magpies by 26. Most of the scoring has been done at the Coventry end, or the southern end of the ground. Collingwood back inside, attacking 50. Tarrant camped underneath it. Almost could have got a free kick there. Schwarz. Thompson at the bottom of the pack. Hayes feeds out the handball. Here's Aussie Jones. Can he use it? He's looking for Black. Spoilt by Shaw. Crumbing is Woden. He's got Rocker on, but he goes longer towards Williams. Goddard flew. Williams stayed down, read it better. Left foot kick. Good mark taken by Voss. We waste no time. The Jones. The lead's coming from Rewalt. And it's about 75 out from the Magpies goal. Leading possession getters for Collingwood, 13 each to Woden and Buckley, 12 to Shaw. While for St Kilda, 14 disposals to Hayes and 13 to Burke.
Interesting point you made, Quarters. 16 of the 18 goals in the match at one end of the ground. Roof closed, no breeze unless there is a mysterious draft. Nathan Burke the meat in the sandwich there. Clark, lots of acceleration and poise, but not a great left foot kick. Collingwood's ball.
In the back,
free kick.
It'll come back to Xavier Clark.
In the back, up here!
And you can hear the umpire explaining it. He's holding his shoulder. And
yes,
that
taken forward.
Really hurts when you get driven into the ground like that.
So Clark from the wing. Not much to go to at the moment, and he knows it. He's got Goddard in close. He could just give him the short chip, but he goes long and hopes someone can snare it. And that someone he was hoping would be Hamill. Harvey's little hand pass just jolted and fell short. Cloak to Clement. Collingwood coolly out of trouble, and Rocker is on the end of that. Lovely delivery from James Clement. It's a beautiful kick. Here's Tarrant again. Taken wide this time, but he's got it again. His 8th mark.
Always on, Tim, because Tarrant was back in that 50 just with Leon Davis, had so much space to lead into.
9th mark, in fact. He's ahead of his season's average, and it's not far beyond half-time. Holland kept it in play. Maybe should have taken it over to keep it in. Saints come away through Baker, but to a contest, and not a very good one for St Kilda. Fraser takes the mark.
He's got Tarrant on short again. And Tarrant's got it about 52 out from goal.
That's about his 9th mark, Tim.
That's 10, Rob. He was 9 per game and leading the AFL table.
Just it's a tough situation for Grant Thomas. What does he do? Because Tarrant, the man with the footy, he's the one who's kicking the goals.
Looked for Buckley. He was spoilt by Thompson, but Buckley might get it back on this occasion. He can't.
And
Weave some magic.
They're quick to let him know, these St Kilda players, that was a bad kick.
You don't see that too often from Buckley, do you?
No, he can't believe it.
You do see him castigating himself fairly often, though. He really is the game's perfectionist.
Yeah. Baker, the clearing kick, and that's a terrific mark by Fraser, who really attacked it. Took a great mark. Josh Fraser. Again, pumps it long. Tarrant from the side. Woden. Holland. Right foot snap is a point. A near miss. 76 plays 49.
Aaron Hamill given a monster lead for this ball.
Goddard brings it into him. Hamill was well manned by Cloak. Jones and Davis. Davis is winning it. Davis wins it hands down. Burns, the veteran, has to go the long way. Cloak, as Collingwood build dangerously again. Time to size it all up and deliver. Well played though by Baker. Backed himself against Woden. And here's a classic rebound. Rewalt on the centre line. Little dab. Not a great kick to Peckett. Just tentative on that. Peckett went wrong side. Rewalt was running the other side. Harvey though coming down the outer side. Will he keep it in for Black? This is good for the Saints. Although it's 2-on-1. In fact, it's all Collingwood. And it's too easy for Scott Burns.
Burns. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah, Rob Harvey off, and I don't think Rob Harvey's feeling all that flash.
He had a big day last week, Robert Harvey. 31 touches against Freo. Might have taken a bit of sting out of him over there in the west. Here's a turnover. Voss. Now Hayes. Chips to half forward and finds Gehrig. Rewalt is the leader. Gnaws him and he chips into space, and the mark's taken by Hayes. He's got ball on short. He's going for Maguire in the end, and that's a poor kick. As well, Woden intercepts. So a bit of a breakdown up forward at the moment for St Kilda. Well, Woden looks for Clement, and he marks on defensive 50. Chip around the corner. Peckett's got to beat two of them, Loney and Burns, and Collingwood wins out. Burns to half forward, Tarrant again.
It's number 11 mark, 9 of them uncontested.
Into space, Davis one out with Jones. Leon, can he kick a goal? Brilliant! The little finger waggle and all.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. He just knew what he was doing. He took control of the bouncing ball. And we'll see Tarrant plays on. Pretty ordinary kick. The bouncing ball just pushes little Aussie Jones out of the way. Gets away from Goddard. And what I liked about the kick, in the end he dropped punted it. He didn't do the banana on the side of the boot. He just knew that he had enough time just to steady that fraction, get it on the point.
2 goals for Leon Davis. Let's go to Jared Waitley.
Yeah, there's nothing obviously wrong with Robert Harvey. He came off at the 17-minute mark of the second quarter and stayed on the bench, and then lasted just 10 minutes in this quarter, but hasn't received any medical attention on any part of his body, so a bit hard to say at this stage.
Decisive break for Collingwood. Buckley, Clement now from behind the centre, but again with precision to Shaw. And Collingwood load up once more, and here he comes again. That's a dozen. He was 73 for the season through 8 rounds. He's romping clear on the marking table. Oh, a rocker! Sensational. And what's more important, well within his range. 45 metres out with a kick from just inside 50.
Well, Tarrant is the go-to player, no doubt. That is a super mark. That is just a super mark. Let's not forget it was Rocker who done the ruck work. And that ball went forward, and then the big fella, he pushed forward himself. Walker at the moment is the ruckman for Collingwood, but he's their best centre bounce ruckman. He's the one who can get the ball to the ground players better than anyone, including McKee, who's not playing tonight. But Tarrant, Tim, is the player. What, a dozen marks, and he's just leading Schwartz a merry dance. And I think Gehrig may have to go back there.
Well, Nuts Coventry is outstripping Tony Lockett tonight. 17 of 19 have been kicked at the Collingwood champions end. This to make it 18 as the Magpies go 1 point further ahead. They lead by 34.
A lucky let off there for St Kilda, as Goddard now has the duty to bring the ball back into play. Decides to drill it long. Fraser's in front. Clever little inside-out kick was by Voss to Peckett. All of a sudden, St Kilda into attack. Gehrig's got the sit here. Fraser Gehrig. Oh, almost. Well done by Wakeland to get a hand on the ball.
He did do well, Wakelet. Looked like a Gehrig mark all the way. I've just been watching Aaron Hamill, and he's got no run about him at all. That's a clever kick there by Brett Voss. Got what he wanted, exactly what he wanted off the side.
Rewald out of the ruck, had it smothered. There is Hamill, cloak. Snap. Out of the pack. That'll do for Stephen Lawrence. Well, he made something out of nothing there, Robert Walls.
He did, and good on the Saints, because the momentum's certainly been all St Kilda's way. Rewald has the kick and it's smothered, and another smothered kick off Cloak, and Stevie Lawrence gets it. He meant that, again, it was a little bit like Brett Voss on the outside of the right boot to get that cut on the football, and he started on the bench, then he went into the forward line, started this third quarter on the bench, has just come on.
One of the Saints' birthday boys turned 27 during the week. Cuts the margin to 28. Rocker rucking against Rewald. Rocker did well. Physical on Rewald again. Buckley mowing down Burke. Collingwood lifting the intensity again, but St Kilda weather the storm for the moment. Burke's kick though straight to Clement. A wall built by Collingwood across half back. Now Holland. That's not a great option. And the Saints control it. Black. Rewald taken down by Walker, which was effective, but Lenny Hayes really getting into this game after being well held early. That was his 17th use of the ball. He's now outstripping Lucuria clearly. Good kick by Clark for Aussie Jones, who knows how to use the footy, and he drills it to Frankie Peckett.
That was a beautiful kick, wasn't it?
Just a beautiful kick, yep. And a good kick by Clark too. I think it was Clark who set up Aussie Jones in that centre square. Yeah, here it is there. Yeah, that's in the middle of three Collingwood players. And Aussie played on, and Peckett leading from the goal square on Loney.
He's kicked just 33 goals in his 194 and a half AFL games. I'd love him to kick his 34. He does! And the Saints are still there. Margin back to 22. Doesn't happen often for him, but once every 5 or 6 games.
Spent most of his career, Tim, playing in the back line and then on the wing, but he's a bit of a pinch hitter. They can put him anywhere.
He's averaging a goal a game this year.
Just a nice switch of play by Xavier Clark from the back flank across to the opposite wing to Aussie. And we can see that Tarrant has a new opponent in Goddard. That had to happen, and gee, he's made up his mind, the kid, that he will play Tarrant from 8-10 metres in front.
Rewald the tap, beautifully snared by Buckley. Out into space. Schwartz will get there first. Good kick too to Hayes on the wing. Well done by Troy Schwartz. Lenny Hayes starting to dominate. Up to 18 disposals. Wasn't the greatest of kicks though.
Good play, Clement, to protect Cloak there.
Now Clement's got it as he switches. The lead's provided by Cole. He takes the mark at half back. Running hard is Shaw and Wakeland. Wakeland looking for Tarrant. That's out on the full. Free kick to St Kilda. And that's 50 because Tarrant threw the ball away after he realised it was out on the full.
Good start for Goddard. Tarrant's 13th mark just on the wrong side of the line. And a 50.
And you just watch him get rid of it here. When he realised it was out in the full, he threw it away.
Turned 18 during the week. Brendan Goddard from Caulfield Grammar into the 50. Saints could be dangerous, but Buckley will be hard to beat. Milne could make a hero of himself here. Fierce pressure. Missed his target with the hand pass. Buckley back for another effort. Great steal, Gehrig. Dangerous on the left. Centering ball when he really needed to produce something spectacular. Holland for Collingwood. Magpies rebounding. Cloak, Burns, Collingwood away. Long ball out to the city wing. Rocker takes Schwartz out of the contest. Takes the mark. And looks to deliver, and he will, to Tarrant, and that's mark number 13. Davis Range beyond him on the left. Lovely kick. Bad bounce for Locken. Could still kick a goal. Was he held? No, he wasn't. Has to try and win it again. The Saints get off the hook.
And Locken, the man on the ground, he's just been given the job to go with Lenny Hayes. Lenny Hayes just dominating in this third quarter for the Saints with 7 disposals.
Penny picked it from out of the ruck. Clark against Burns. Well done, Burns. To Woden. Does Collingwood go back inside 50? Woden bombs it into the goal square. Huge pack fly. Schwartz. Run down. Got to be a free kick. Surely it is.
He's having a pretty tough
That's
night.
one advantage.
Pretty
Play's
tough
got to be
night.
continuous.
is
That's not
Troy
continuous.
Schwartz. Umpire explaining it's not advantage, and Schwartz gets the footy there. Prior opportunity. Magnificent lunging tackle by Josh Fraser.
I reckon the thought in his mind that perhaps I should play safe and take it through just caused him to hesitate for that moment.
Now, Fraser, we have seen Fraser kick bananas from here. There's the angle facing him. He's not bad at these. He goes the banana and he misses. First score of the night to Josh Fraser as a behind. 84 plays 61. Magpies have been in front all night.
Still have a game. You wouldn't have expected that at quarter time when Collingwood led by 46 points. Andrew Thompson, his sporting ambition eluded him again last week when he was playing AFL football and wasn't at the FA Cup final, which he does aspire to attend one day. Voss crumbing nicely. Jones. Now Lawrence, that is sailing close to the win from James Clement, giving him a shove into the ground.
Rob Harvey back on for St Kilda, so too Capuana.
Rewalt deciding to thump it and getting a result. Heath Black just outside 50. Calling for the long ball is Milne, not to Mark but to Crum. Black is a good left foot kick, but he's a long way out. Well, he fancies himself by the look of it.
Well, Aaron Hamill's down there in the goal square and he hasn't had a kick tonight. A couple of handballs. That's it for Aaron.
As he ran left and then he hooked it right. Hamill up, couldn't hang on. Just doesn't hang on to enough of them. Davis, Burns, back to Davis, down in the back half of the ground and holding the man. Is it? Yes, it is.
Just got the handball in.
Burke and Walker at it, seriously. And Penny as well.
It's just a fraction too long.
Collingwood go to attack and another mark to Tarrant. Number 14 dishes to Buckley. Collingwood go inside 50 but the kick drops short and it's marked by Schwartz. To Jones, to Peckett. Now St Kilda on the Dockland side of the ground. Peckett's got about 35 metres on his nearest opponent. He has 3 bounces. Now Shaw attacks him. Peckett to Black, spins out of trouble, back to Peckett. St Kilda build. Peckett pumps it long. Here's a chance for Rewalt against Walker. Rewalt the one-hander, no. Can he soccer off the ground? It's a rush behind by Wakeland.
Gee, almost Rewalt because Walker took his eyes off the ball. From then on he was in real trouble. Rewalt got one hand on it, just couldn't control the second bite at the cherry.
22 points in favour of the Magpies. 4 minutes left in the third term.
Some thrilling rebound football happening at the moment. Clement to Wakeland. Loney now. Awkward for him. Peckett having a good period in this game. And it's back in 50-50, which is not a bad outcome for the Saints. The Saints are the white line, Robert.
Yes, and
Professor, sorry.
They are starting to surge. You can see that Collingwood in the first 15-18 minutes of the third quarter, they were in the green zone, the scoring zone. Now St Kilda have gone into it.
Locken for Collingwood. The breakaway on again. Holland against the intensity line. And Collingwood are dangerous. Tarrant again. Mark number 15. And a chance for goal number 5 to halt St Kilda's momentum.
We better get the record books out and find out what's the most number of marks taken in a game of AFL football. Rex Hunt reckons he took 26 one day, but I don't know about that. But this fella, gee, he's hard to match up on. Like, I love watching him play. People say, well, he gets too many uncontested marks. The only reason he gets uncontested marks is because he's too smart and he's too quick for his opposition players.
13 of the 15 have been uncontested, Robert.
Yeah, and he can take a mark in a contest. He's a good mark in a contest.
He's kicked harder ones than this, and he nails this absolutely. Collingwood by 28. Number 5 and number 25 for the season. He really has blossomed into one of the finest forwards in the competition.
Yes, and Locken there off the interchange bench. Here's another one, Brodie Holland. They've been rotating their smaller players from the bench throughout the game. And the Saints would be a bit disappointed because they have had the momentum. They have been attacking more so than Collingwood. So that's a goal against the flow.
Magpies have been challenged on a couple of occasions tonight. They've always had the answers. It's 28 points and they go into attack again. Oh, this is Tarrant again from the side. Tarrant's got it again. This is an unbelievable performance. Into the pocket. Voss saves the day for the Saints. He switches. Capuano to the wing. Good kick to Lawrence, but Clement manages to pick him off at the last minute. At the pace. They're going to throw in. We're witnessing an extraordinary performance, aren't we, Robert? Really, from one man. 16 marks.
Just a super effort.
5 goals straight.
He's been in good form. You know, we've seen a lot of Collingwood, and you know, he helped win the game for them over there in Adelaide 2 weeks ago. Just so quick.
Kicks going Collingwood's way. Tristan Walker held his jumper and took a bit of skin with it by the looks of things.
Oh, that jumper's seen better days. He's only playing his 3rd game. It looks as though he's played about 300 in it. Here's Locken, who also is a first-year player at Collingwood. And Davis, with 3 Saints standing around him, has been able to conjure a mark and has a chance here in the last couple of minutes of the quarter to really give Collingwood a stranglehold. He's kicked 2.
Chris Tarrant in picture, just dominated the quarter. Luke Penny has been on him for the last minute or two. That's his 3rd opponent.
So Davis lines them up. The man on the mark is 45 out. The angle is almost negligible. He likes the spectacular ones. This, not necessarily that, but it's a goal. Magpies lead by 34, and it'll be tough for St Kilda from there in the last quarter.
Well, particularly, Tim, when you consider that teams that have travelled over to Perth have struggled the next week, and certainly the Saints got run off their legs at Subiaco, you would think it would be tough for them in the last term.
Justin Kazitsky has had a terrible run with injury. On the sideline now, he's had an ankle operation for some ligament damage. Be missing for about 4 weeks. Tristan Walker, by the way, is off under the blood rule. Rocker got the tap in the middle. There's Thompson. What a battle he's had with Buckley. Great tackle by the Collingwood captain. Very clever. We'll have the ball up. It's been a little man-on-man war, that one, hasn't it?
So they've been in each other's ear.
Rewald over the top. Harvey. Again, Buckley at the bottom of the pack did it beautifully. Williams to Rocker. Back into the middle. Cole. He spots up Burns very well. Burns will play on here from 52 metres. Right foot kick. There's another one for Collingwood. They're back well and truly in control now, Robert.
Well, they are. They held on pretty gamely, St Kilda, but gee, I think Collingwood have kicked the last 3 goals, and Scotty Burns, he knew that he couldn't kick it from that far if he went back behind the man on the mark, so very quick to play on. And another opponent for Tarrant. It's back to Swartz, who was plan A. So they've gone through plan A, B and C. And I think, well, we better get back to plan A.
Burns knew his capability on the run. He summed it up beautifully. Collingwood in control, and Buckley, who kicked a monster in the first quarter, unloads the torque. A massive Luke Didak. He went way too early, and Tarrant's goal won't count. It's a St Kilda free kick. St Kilda free kick. Didak's spectacular attempt ruled a less than realistic attempt to mark by umpire Vozzo. Voss's ball. Just over half a minute left, and really St Kilda to have a chance of winning it, you'd think, have to kick a goal in this period. Jones
will be kicking to the scoring end though, Tim.
They will. Roaring gale behind them. Lawrence, whose dad Barry once took more than 20 marks in a match, but I have to say it was at York Park in Launceston, and it wasn't a visit by Hawthorn, it was a local match back in the 60s. Capuano long to within 30, so a chance for the Saints. Gehrig need to do it in a hurry. He's got the chance, no pressure, nails it, his fourth. Little toast by the coach.
Well, that was the one I wanted.
Long time between drinks. He actually cheated, Fraser Gehrig. You see here, he just said, I'm going to drop out the back door, thanks, boys. He didn't go for the footy. And look, sometimes that's okay for a forward, because you got 4 teammates battling with 5 opponents. I'll just drop out the back door if you can get it to me, or I get a lucky bounce, well, I'll kick a goal for you. And that's what he did.
Well, it's just kept them in touch, the Saints. Fraser Gehrig has kicked 4. As Buckley and Thompson continue in the middle, and it's a bit of a box on. Nothing too serious, just a bit of push and shove.
Go, Russell, report you for wrestling. Right, go away. Let's go. Andrew, go the ball, please. Andrew, go.
This is a nice guy, Tomo, in whose mouth butter normally doesn't melt, was a little fired up.
Well, that's 3/4 time. And it is Collingwood leading by a pretty handy buffer, 34 points, Robert Walls.
Yes, a 5-goal to 3/4 in favour of the Magpies. The game has swung quarter by quarter. Look, I don't think Mick Malthouse would be all that happy, even though he's just getting to Didak, who flew ridiculously for that specky. And he'd be saying, wake up to yourself, young fella. We've got Tarrant down there. We've got Anthony Rocker. You stay on the ground and get the ball at ground level. Grant Thomas, well, I guess he can say to his charges, we were well behind at quarter time. We won the second quarter. We can do it again. If you persist with it, we could get ourselves back into this match.
3/4 time, the Magpies lead the Saints by 34. Chris Tarrant has been the star. 18 disposals, 16 marks and 5 straight. Only and Burns. Collingwood wins out. Burns to half forward. Tarrant again.
That's number 11 mark, 9 off them, uncontested.
Into space. Davis one out with Jones. Leon. Can he kick a goal? Brilliant. Collingwood have led at every change by 46 at quarter time, by 19 at the half. And at 3/4 time, it is the Magpies by 34 points. Tarrant has 5, Davis 3, Gehrig 4, and Riewoldt a couple for the Saints. And Chris Tarrant has been the major story from this game, just dominating the game with, as we said, 5 goals, 18 disposals, 16 marks. As we take a look at the fresh legs, see if they have any bearing on this final term. Remembering St Kilda playing after a match in the West, they'll need some fresh legs in this last quarter.
Well, certainly Powell hasn't been played much. Young ball, you would think that he'd get plenty of run in this final quarter. Capuano won't get much of a go. I think that he's not much help to them in the ruck, the way he's playing at the moment. And the fresh legs for the Magpies, well, O'Brien, I think he's injured, so you won't see much of him. Locken's been coming on and off the ground to do the run with Rolls, and Walker is doing relief ruck work.
Jared Waitley.
Yeah, O'Brien just doing the shuttle runs with the physio at the moment. Josh Fraser spent some time with the physio during the break as well. He does look to be all right. And Aussie Jones, he was getting some work done on a groin, but he has started.
Well, the one bonus for St Kilda is they are going to the scoring end in this last term. Majority of the goals kicked at the Coventry end. As we'll have another bounce inside the centre square. There's Jared Malloy.
Yeah, interesting. I think Aaron Hamill has gone to full back on Tarrant, opponent number 5.
The handball hit the umpire. I think he can report the footy. By Woden. Buckley. For almost a strong mark. Could have been awarded it. In fact, I think he's got a free kick anyway. Well rewarded. Nathan Buckley. This is disposal number 20. He's first in the AFL in disposals this year, Nathan Buckley, with 29. And his kick's good as it finds Davis, who's got 3 goals next to his name. Starting to hit a little bit of form after a bit of a drought.
And there we see the umpire getting hit with the ball.
Will the ball face the tribunal during the week?
TW Sharon reported for making contact.
Aaron Hamill standing the mark, just had a dog of a night. Hasn't had a kick, had 2 handballs and is now playing on Chris Tarrant.
Davis has kicked 3. It's not a bad effort. Right on the line, touched. Collingwood lead by 35 early in the piece in his final turn.
Saints have outscored Collingwood since quarter time, but they're going to have to outscore them heavily in this last quarter. Now Goddard brings it in, even though Jones is down there. Davis might finish this time. If he doesn't, somebody else might. Didak just couldn't get his boot onto it. The Magpies lead by 36.
Well, even with that last kick in, it was to Aaron Hamill on Leon Davis, and Aaron just couldn't make the ground to get to it. He shouldn't be out there.
Hayes would go long for Jones. Good kick. He's got Peckett on further up the field. Doesn't get the kindest of bounces. By Woden snapping at his heels. Rewalt's got to beat 2. Clement and Cole. He kicks it into the forward pocket, but it's all Magpies, and one of them is Johnson. He goes back into the middle and finds Loney. Loney to Cole. Cole to half forward. Cloak couldn't take the sliding mark. There's Lucuria in his 100. To Shaw. Shows some acceleration. Now into the pocket. Penny against Tarrant. And there is Holland. Handball comes out. Running into it. Lucuria. Goal. Not quite the sealer, but close to it, Robert Walls.
Well, you'd think so, Steve. And Paul Lucuria, he's worked really hard. He's played on Lenny Hayes for a good bit of the night and just gets that nice handball, backs himself. Could have given up the handball, and he's pretty happy with that because he knows that it's going to be very, very hard for the Saints now.
Food for thought. Saints down by 40 points. Lucuria in his 100th game kicks a goal. All Collingwood fans would pray for now is for Reece Shaw in Bobby Rose's old number 22 to kick one just to finish it off. But Harvey puts the Saints into attack. Who's down? Woden, Rewalt, fought valiantly all night. Hayes, big second half, gives it everything he's got from 50, and it might have been enough. Didn't cross the line at the first go. Bounced back into play. Cloak took it over. And the Saints need goals. This time they just have to settle for a minor.
Cruel bounce, wasn't it?
Clement to do the kicking in. He goes long. Loney. Getting in front was Thompson. To Harvey. Back to Hayes. Got a couple of options. One of them is Lawrence. Stephen Lawrence has kicked one. The lead comes from Gehrig. And Fraser Gehrig will line up from about 35 out. Reasonably tight angle, but he's on his correct side. And so far, Fraser Gehrig has kicked 4.
Just see that play a lot in league football now. The player with the ball, 55, 60 metres out, too far out. And they make space behind the man on the mark so that another forward can lead directly behind the man on the mark, and all they've got to do is just chip the kick up into the air and let the leading forward run onto it.
4 goals, 1 to Fraser Gehrig tonight. Well, the Collingwood defenders are all queuing up to start the kick-in process, and the umpire, he kept us all in suspense.
Yeah, a bit of doubt there, because even the St Kilda players were waiting. They were not all that confident about it.
Well, he's got 5, Fraser, Gary.
Oh, he's done his job. He's done his job really well. He's been a target for them. And again, at the scoring end, we're getting goals kicked down at that Coventry end, Tim.
Same goal umpire Mark Canning, who had the nightmare of Heath Blacks in the first quarter.
So for the second week in a row, he's kicked 5.
Great effort. Collingwood still by 35. Thompson for St Kilda might have kicked, gave it off. Saints with another scoring chance. Cloak just letting it go in front of himself. Rewalt and Hayes apply pressure and the Saints hold it in. Again, they need to string 2 or 3 together to try and generate something. Tremendous crowd. It looks like a full house, but it's not quite. A bit over 46,000. Buckley, work ethic as ever, unstinted, faultless. Baker, well done by Woden, just flicking it away from him. Hayes just keeps on getting the ball. Tremendous second half. Good spoil, Clement. How will it land? Cloak pulled off it. Saints still working hard. And holding it in, not a bad outcome for them. 15 minutes left, margin 35, game not dead yet.
There's Aaron Hamill at full-back, and the man he's on, Tarrant, has taken 16 marks in this game. Hamill, I think that's opponent number 6.
So it's inside the Saints attacking 50. Picked up by Powell to Harvey, back to Powell, went through his legs. Got another crack at it, but it spills to Burns, to Locken. Hurried kick to the wing. Davis will get there first, and an excellent chest mark taken by Leon Davis. Back to Locken. Goes for a bit of a run and a bounce. Now he drills it long. Tarrant behind. Well done, Hamill. Oh, pinched by Tarrant. What can he do with it? Decides to handball backwards. Baker intercepts to Hamill. Over the top to Jones. Here come the Saints. Jones has a couple of bounces. And now he finds Penny. He dishes to Harvey. And the Saints are away.
Black on his preferred side. Peckett out on the wing. St Kilda still playing positively. Good kick by Peckett. Buckley climbing all over Gehrig to make the spoil. Johnson now, lovely little left footer. Burns and Collingwood holding firm. And playing with the sort of authority that makes their 35-point lead look pretty safe. Shaw, now Didak, has a quiet night. Just 5 uses of the ball, including that one. Fraser, nice little sidestep on Hamill. And Fraser from 48 places the kick rather than drives the boot through it. It was an unusual kick. Baker for Goddard. St Kilda out of trouble and looking again to rebound.
Hayes having his 23rd possession. Rewalt was the lead. Clements played him beautifully in the second half.
Yeah, he has. He's played him really tight. Got the fist on the footy. Wouldn't be surprised if Shane Woden had a spell. He's really looking tired out there. But we see Clement just enough to get the fist on the footy. Just a couple of bumps and knocks. Just upset the run of Rewalt.
Maguire the tap. Quick hands by Lucuria to Buckley. Back to the 50 for Collingwood. But the mark's taken by Schwartz. Goddard.
Gee, hasn't got much to go to. Just have to short it.
Disposal number 9 is not a good one. To Lucuria. Davis to Buckley. He'll use it. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Nathan Buckley finds Didak, who from 51 metres launches a big bomb, and it's hit the post. Second behind of the night to Alan Didak. 111 plays, 75.
Game in perpetual motion. Jones bringing it in as early as he legally could, and now can get it back and break away and embark on one of those Aussie runs. Still going, getting himself into some bother. Black, and here go the Saints again, but again outnumbered up forward. And Cloak in front of Peckett takes pretty much an uncontested mark, and St Kilda for the moment going nowhere.
10 disposals to Jason Cloak. Lost his spot in the team, has come back in the last couple of weeks. One of the reasons he lost his spot was his kicking was letting him down. I think he's been pretty good tonight.
Thompson on the wing for St Kilda to Black. And his kick is very poor. Cloak's having a field day at half back at the moment. Takes another uncontested mark. So they seem to have all the answers to Magpies. They lead by 6 goals as we near the halfway mark of the final term. Both teams with 4 wins and 4 losses in season 2003, so it's an important result, whoever gets the 4 points. It'll put him into the 8. Harvey spots up Maguire. He's got Thompson running in support, but he decides to pass. And he hits Lawrence on the chest, about 45 out from goal. Slightly worse than a 45-degree angle.
Son of Barry, grew up on, well, pretty much on the Gold Coast, moved up there when the family did, and made his debut with the Brisbane Bears in 1995.
He's kicked 1 goal tonight. Stephen Lawrence. Gehrig, in fact, was it a mark or did it go through for a point? It's a point.
And Stevie Lawrence in his first season of league football back in 95 had a knee reconstruction.
Buckley's kick in, hits Lawrence on the chest and gives him another chance. And Buckley will not be happy about that.
Well, 2 kicks at Buckley's tonight. They're out of bounds on the full, and that kick in there, he's a man who takes great pride in his disposal, and he'll have nightmares about those tonight.
Easier shot this for Lawrence, straight in front from about 40. No, it's got in the same spot. Bad miss that. You're not going to win the game kicking like that. Wasted too many opportunities up front. Made too many mistakes down back and trailed by 34 points.
And this is better from Buckley as he finds Holland to Lucuria, to half forward. Getting in front and taking the mark is Hamill. To Clark. Now he goes long. It's a good kick too. Peckett's free. He drills it long. He's looking for Rewalt. Coming in from the side to offer some support as Burns. It's a free kick here.
Rewalt, after the contest, got him high. Just here, thanks.
After the contest got him high. Let's have a look. Well. Technically he's right, but gee, bit of a gift.
Well, Nick Rewalt will take it. He kicked 2 goals in the second term. If they have any chance, the Saints, he's got to drill this. And he's just sneaked it home. So Rewalt gets his third. 111 plays, 83. So they're not without a chance, the Saints.
I reckon that's there, Rob.
I reckon it is too, Tim, when you look at it at that angle. And look, he's tried really hard, Rewalt. What I like about him is he works for front position.
.28 points is the margin. St Kilda barely close enough.
Gonna hang in there, Tim?
Yes, I'll make it. Don't know whether the Saints will lock it. It's a rebounding game at the moment. Thrilling stuff. And Lucuria's got it. Might kick his second of the quarter. He does! And celebrates accordingly as the Magpies lead by 34.
And Kevin Rose and Bob Rose in picture. Bob Rose on the right. His brother Kevin next to him. Brian Taylor in front of the 2 Rose brothers.
And Bob with a smile on his face there.
Yeah.
Recognising that a Magpie victory is in the offing, and isn't that good to see?
Great to see him here at the footy.
Two famous Magpies, Kevin and Bob Rose. One with a hell of a fight on his hands at the moment. If anyone could win that fight, it's one of the most likeable men in the history of the game. Might have just seen himself on telly. Magpies by 34. Locken wobbles one to half forward. Holland almost, but won the footy in the end. Back to Locken. Williams to Burns, who's been good. Sidesteps Goddard. Now squares it up to Fraser. Beautifully done by Scott Burns. Doesn't waste many disposals. That was his 22nd. And Josh Fraser will line up for just about what will be the sealer.
Yes, he's a good player, Scotty Burns. And interesting, last week he was interviewed and he spoke so highly of Nathan Buckley. And he said, look, people say that Michael Voss is the best player. He may well be, but over a 10-year period, games played, performances year in, year out, week in, week out, gee, it's hard to go past Nathan Buckley. I thought it was terrific to hear that from a fella who played alongside Buckley for 10 years.
This is the challenge facing Josh Fraser from 45 metres. Just the one behind. Two behinds tonight to Josh Fraser. But Collingwood have done enough, you'd think. 118 plays 83. We've gone almost 17 minutes in the final term. Just under 8 minutes of actual game time remaining.
It's been too solid for the Saints. They've played the percentages and they deserve the position they're in. Jones, a bouncing ball to Harvey this time. Just pulling it off the instep there. Not quite hitting his target. They've got the numbers, but Didak making a pretty good fist of it. Penny sweeping it to Jones. Late to get his hand pass. Reece Shaw in Bobby Rose's number. Drills it. The icing on the cake.
It's a great call, Tim, and wasn't it fantastic to see the pressure applied and bring a smile to the face of Bob. They just got themselves in a bit of trouble there. Good pressure by Didak. He was up against 2 or 3 St Kilda opponents, and then Reece Shaw flew in. Good tackle by Big Anthony, and the young fella wearing the number 22 finished it off. I reckon he's been good for the Magpies over the last couple of weeks, Reece Shaw. They started with him early in the season. He was then dropped, and the last few weeks he's come back and just given real pace off that half-back line.
Well, the result is beyond doubt now. As St Kilda go to attack, this is Peckett, sold the dummy to Buckley. Peckett goes long. Gehrig and Riewoldt both in the contest. Front and centre was Lawrence. Can he kick a goal this time? No. Three behinds in the last quarter of the Lions.
Steve, what are your thoughts on the umpires wearing the red uniform?
Love it. I like anything but white. I reckon it's fantastic for the spectators, for the players, with the commentators.
With the colours out there tonight, predominantly yellow and black, you see the umpires, they just stand out.
Yep.
I think it's a great innovation.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, I agree. It's worked brilliantly tonight. And I'll have to say, I think the 3 men in red and blue have done a pretty fair job. Lucuria leading black to the ball. There'll be a ball up to separate them. The law is laid down pretty firmly at times, even when the outcome is a neutral one. Burns. Yeah, fair enough too. Just was ridden down, ridden forward. Burns ball.
I've got to call play on! Never call play on! I've still got to call play on!
Can you get reported for a dirty look?
That's about as filthy as they get. Oh.
I didn't think he did.
And what an additive the microphones are. It's, pardon the pun, all there in black and white. Scott Burns with the man on the mark right on 50. Now, as you pointed out in the previous quarter, Rob, he didn't think he could nail it from a standing shot at 50. And so he ran on and kicked a goal. And you've read it perfectly, because this time he doesn't have the shot. And it's Wakeman at 49.
And that's Gehrig's opponent, just to rub a bit of salt into the wound.
It sails over his head and goes through. I wouldn't like to have to describe Gehrig's face. Fraser. He missed a couple of minutes ago. Collingwood by 40, and for Magpie fans, an 8-goal first quarter. Paul Licuri has kicked a couple in the last quarter of his 100th game, but the moment when Reece Shaw in the famous number 22 honoured Bob Rose made it as sweet as it gets. Now Buckley.
But again, they've just shown patience with the ball when they've got control of it, Collingwood. They are happy to just sit on the footy, let the seconds tick by, create a bit of space and let a teammate run into it until they can eventually set someone up.
Buckley below average tonight, although he has 5 minutes to catch up. He kicked 2 first quarter goals from inside 50. He does what he does so well. Collingwood by 46 points, and their skipper has 3.
And that's where the 50 metres, oh, he's just, he's livid.
So plenty of celebrations for the Magpie faithful, particularly the two Rose brothers watching the Magpies now run away with it over the Saints. 46 points is the margin.
The Rose son Peter there as well, I think. Rose Boys, the name of the book, and the Rose Boys are here tonight.
Well, pretty handy game, Williams. Predominantly in the forward pocket. There's something happened behind play. Collingwood player down.
Just let it go. Guys, go right away. Anthony, listen to me. I've got the free kick, so go away. Okay.
Be a Collingwood free kick.
And it's going to be Terrence.
It's got to be Chris Terrence. Williams was going to kick it from outside 50.
Just hold it there. Is 50 metres a great advantage? Okay, thank you. That's fine. No, that's fine. Okay, thanks, Chris. That's your line. Mark's right here.
Umpire Vozzo in the thick of it at the moment.
He could get 3 votes for his last quarter effort.
Well, Terrence going to end up with 6. Only 20 metres out. He's had a wonderful night. And he does. He drills his 6th. What a night at the office for Chris Tarrant. 20 disposals, 16 marks, 6 straight goals. And now Tarrant, who's going to shoot up the goal-kicking table. He was 7 to 4 tonight. It's off the ball. Way off the ball. Couple there, actually. And Tarrant now for the season has got 26 goals. 26 goals, 19 to be precise.
And the Subiaco
curse?
Well, the curse, hoodoo, whatever you want to call it, continues on.
Gary Glitter in the crowd. Magpies rampant now. Tearing St Kilda apart, rocket to Buckley. Did well to hold his feet and get it off to Davis, but he wasn't able to do anything with it. Penny. Voss not able to mark it. Locken. Can he make the collect this time at the second try? Yes, he does, under a little less pressure. Well placed left-footer to a 2-on-1, and Scott Burns. He's an old pro, and that's perfect on the left foot. Lovely delivery to Holland.
Aaron Hamill, the man on the mark, he still hasn't had a kick. Look, he's played okay this last quarter. He's had 5 hand passes for the game.
Now Holland, from outside 50 when he kicks. What's he doing there? He played on before he got to the man on the mark. Buckley has to try and mop up for him. Still a chance for Holland. Now Tarrant doesn't go for number 7. He does even better. And Paul Licuri can kick his 3rd of the quarter.
Well, Licuri has been given a chance to play in the forward line in this last quarter. And he certainly enjoyed it, made the most of it. Just a lovely bit of thinking there by Chris Tarrant, who had every right to go for the shot, but he did the team thing. And they're just bubbling along now, the Magpies.
Curia kicks his third. Collingwood have kicked 11-5 in the second half. And the St Kilda challenge, what there was of it, really has dissipated. Collingwood in total control, and a pretty disappointing night for the Saints.
Yeah, it has been. Going into this game, they'd won 3 of 4, and they will be a good side. I'm confident they will be a good side, but they got out-muscled early. And we see Gehrig there. He's got a crook heel. He's talking to the trainer, and you'd wonder why it would be worthwhile keeping him on now, get him off for the last few minutes.
He was explaining the 50-metre penalty there to the trainer. So they've missed Hutchton tonight, haven't they?
Oh, they have, yeah.
As Collingwood going to attack again. This time Lenny Hayes repels to Penny. Pretty ordinary kick. And it finds Clark to half forward. Powell handballs over the top to Rewalt. Black. He's worked pretty hard, Black. And we'll have a throw in. That's going to be a bit of a percentage booster for the Magpies too.
Well, look, the Magpies had lost 4 out of their last 5 games coming into this contest against St Kilda, but their form hadn't been that bad. They had quarters and halves where they played really good football, just hadn't got the 4 points.
There's Locken on defensive 50. Burns again. No Breeze, come on. Back to Burns, to the wing. Malloy's also back on the ground. Thompson to Xavier Clark. And he looks for Rewalt, but Cole over the top has been paid.
Exciting player, Richard Cole. Just a youngster, very much a left-sided player, but he's got a bit of toe, and as we saw there, he's got a bit of flair.
So dedicated was he last year that he drove over to watch Collingwood beat Port Adelaide in the finals. That had to impress the coach, surely.
That's mark number 17.
Tarrant short to Malloy. And Collingwood are going to go to 5-4 and back into the 8 after this win.
Again, an example of their patience when they've got control of the football. We've seen that happen many times this evening. They'll just wait, make a bit of space, and then just pop the ball to a player so that they instead of kicking from 60 metres out, they make more of a certainty of it. If he kicks this, Tim, it's 4 goals in the 4th quarter.
I doubt that he's ever kicked 4 goals in a quarter in his life.
Paul Licuria from 48 metres. He's given it a good go.
And he might never do it.
He'll be happy in his 100th game, though, Paul Licuria. 3 goals won, 20 disposals. That's a good night's work.
Collingwood by 59. And don't they love it? Collingwood set to work their way back into the 8. Now there's a whistle in the corridor. 50-metre penalty.
50 metres, Jack. You got it. Play on.
That happened as the kick-in was taking place, presumably. And now Lawrence has the ball. But the St Kilda challenge has fizzed. Peckett behind the centre line. And really, there hasn't been much action in St Kilda's attacking half in this quarter. And they're taking a while to work it there as Collingwood flood back. Black towards Rewald, fine mark.
Yeah, gets in front again.
Ball, quiet night, a lot of bench time. Magpie defence still mean and nasty. Milne, who's kicked the one. Now Powell, another one who's spent most of the night on the bench. And Cole comes away with it. Here they go. Tarrant's running into space. Locken didn't see him. Just didn't show much vision. Didn't need to. On the siren, he kicks Collingwood's 22nd. And the Magpies romp to a 65-point win.
Well, they finished all over the top of St Kilda. Paul Licuria in picture, went forward, kicked 3 goals, could have been 4. Just a welcome return to form for so many Collingwood players, particularly Leon Davis. And that man in picture, 17 marks and plenty of goals once again.
22-17, 149, a real percentage booster too for the Magpies. St Kilda 12-84. The highlight of the last quarter was the goal to Reece Shaw, and he's with Gerard Blakely.
Oh, Reece, it was just about the win you had to have tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. 4 and 4. St Kilda were the same, and it's really an 8-point game for us.
You fixed the starts, jumped out of the blocks, 8 goals to 0.
Yeah, we were pretty set on doing that tonight after the last 2 weeks, but no, it was good to get a win. Second quarter, we let them come back into the game, but it was good for the boys to push on and get a good win tonight.
Perhaps the highlight of the night, kicking a goal in the last quarter. It was a big night for you. You made it that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was played all right, but it was a good team effort. To come back from the last 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks, where we haven't played so well, and get a win like that was unbelievable.
Personal tribute to Bobby Rose. He was a big part of the night, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, Bobby's an icon of our club, probably the AFL as well. And it was only a little thing, but I hope he saw us tonight and hope he was very proud of us.
He's here. He would have loved it.
Yeah, I bet he would have.
Good on you, Reece. Well done.
Reece Shaw played a damn good game tonight for the Magpies. 65-point victory. And certainly back now in positive territory with a 5-4 record. 65 points at the Telstra Dome. We'll be back to wrap up shortly.